Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Isabel and this is my library. In today's video, I bring you my reading journal update for the month of August. Alright guys, so it's time for some journaling. I'm ready to update my reading journal for everything that I was able to read in the month of August. And I'm going to go ahead and set it up for the month of September as well. As of the filming of this video, I have already done my August wrap-up as well as my September TBR. So both of those videos can be found linked in the description box below. And now we're going to put all of that on paper, document all my stuff, see how my challenges are going, and have a little bit of relaxing time while I work on my journal. So I'm going to go ahead and start writing down the titles of the books that I read this month. I did read 6 books in the month of August. It was a difficult reading month for me. Back to school as a teacher, it's always difficult to get a lot of reading done in August, but I was pretty proud of myself. At least I was able to get some reading done. So I'm going to go ahead and start numbering and writing down titles, authors, and ratings of everything that I read this month. And I'll fast forward you through this part as usual. And then I'll come back and tell you a little bit about what I read. All right, so this month I did read 6 things. So I read Tell Me What You Did by Carter Wilson, 4-star rating. The Family Experiment by John Mars, 4-star rating. 1-2 Buckle My Shoe by Agatha Christie, 3.5 rating. Man F This House by Brian Asman, 1-star rating. Danganronpa the Animation Volume 2 by Takashi Tsukimi, 4-star rating. And The Haunted Mansion by Joshua Williamson, 5-star rating. And that was indeed my favorite thing I read this month. It was the Haunted Mansion graphic novel based on the comic book series and of course inspired by the Haunted Mansion ride at Disney World. And it was just awesome. It was such a great read, and it was the highlight of my month. So let's go ahead and move on to the Goodreads challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and color coordinate the genres of what I've read. I always use for this my Papermate Flair dual tip. These are the ones that have that beautiful brush on one side. So I'll go ahead and do this now and fast forward you through it, and then of course I will catch you up. So I went ahead and updated this. I read Tell Me What You Did, which was a thriller. The Family Experiment, which was also a dystopian type of thriller. 1 2 Buckle My Shoe, which was an Agatha Christie murder mystery. Man F This House, which was a horror novel. Then I read Danganronpa, the Animation Volume 2, which was a manga. And lastly, The Haunted Mansion, which was a graphic novel. And there we have the Goodreads Challenge genres. So, of course, this helps me visualize what I'm reading more of or less of. And clearly, I've been reading a lot of horror, sprinklings of thriller, not many thrillers. I think it's mostly been a lot of horror this year, with some mysteries here and there, some fantasies here and there as well. And yeah, so that's the update for this one. Now let's see if I've made any progress with my 25 and 25 this month. Nothing here, nothing here. All right, so nothing in the 25 to 25. I do need to make some progress here. No. Read these already. Okay, so I did read Man F This House. What a disappointment this was, guys. So first, let me go ahead and color in my 1-star rating. And then let me go ahead and highlight this side here. Okay. So I've read 1, 2, 3, 4 from the 24 and 24 so far. Let's see if there were any third time's a charm this month. And no, I need to make some more progress on this. This I've only read 1 from. So I've got to work on that. All right, now it's time for the alphabet challenge. Let me go ahead and start adding in the 6 things that I read. I'll speed you through it as usual and then come back. All right, guys, so I went ahead and updated my alphabet challenge. Still missing a couple letters. I'll see what I can do about that toward the ending of the year. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and do the shelfie, and I'll use my Tombow markers to color in the spines, and then I'll write down the titles of each of the books that I read. I'll go ahead and fast forward you through this part. All right, and there is the shelfie. looking beautiful and colorful. All right. So let's see if I was able to complete anything for the buzzwordathon. Anything with the word thing. Or memory words. Or with. Nope. Don't think we have anything here. Right, let's see if there's anything with a pattern. The family experiment definitely has a pattern with all the little silhouettes. Let me go ahead and grab my scissors and cut that one out. Again, for those of you new to my channel or you've never watched one of these videos before, I use my Canon Ivy to print out my little book covers, and I print 4 per page, and then I'm able to cut them up and use them, and I think they look great. All right, let me find my eraser. My little bag is a little messy. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and erase that. I really do love a variety of these. Like, I love the Prismacolor Magic Rub. I also really enjoy these Pentel ones. Let's see if there's any others that I like. I really also like these. So these are like my favorite. All 3 of these are absolutely wonderful. They're my favorite erasers. I have them everywhere. I buy them by the box and just kind of always have them around, but they're so good. They erase perfectly fine. I do a lot of penciling in my journal. And so far, at this stage in the game, you're not really seeing a lot of that. But once you watch my setting up videos for next year's journal, you'll see that I basically start off everything with pencil and then just erase throughout. All right, let's see if there were any others that I had here. If I had anything with eyes and or weapons. Yeah, I think that was pretty much it. All right. My TBR book recommends. I have not really read any of these, so no progress here. And my Read the Rainbow challenge I did complete already, and I'm so excited. It looks beautiful. Can't wait to see what I do next year with this challenge and how I visually represent that in my journal. All right, so I did finish reading The Cheerleaders, but that counts as a September read. So as of the filming of this video, we are in the 1.5 week of September. I did read this right at the beginning of September, so this will be marked off at the ending of this month. All right, so the Book Troop Book Club did release their September and October picks. September is going to be How to Survive a Horror Story, which I could not be more excited for. I talk about this in my September TBR video, and I tell you all about this book and how excited I am to read it. Let me know if you will be also reading this, or if you have read this for that matter, because I really do feel like this might end up being one of my favorite reads of the year. So I'm very excited to get to it. And then she also went ahead and released the October pick, which is going to be 13 Months Haunted. And I'm so excited for that one as well. I think it'll be a perfect October read. Go ahead and add this here and do my usual erasing. Make sure this looks perfect. All right, and there we have it. Oh, I forgot to check this off. So I did read Tell Me What You Did. So I made a little bit of progress here. Let me go ahead and grab this. And I did rate this 4 stars. So I'll go ahead and check this off. Making some progress. As you guys know, my TBRs carry on from month to month. So even if I don't finish something on said month, for example, this came into my TBR April, and I got to finish it now in August, and I'm perfectly okay with that. I am a big fan of TBRs, but I am also a big fan of reading things when they are available to me, when my audiobooks come in, when I find the time and the mood to read certain things. So I love having a TBR that kind of just flows from month to month. And I still get to get excited about putting all these books onto my TBR, even if I don't get to them that exact month. All right, so far these are the 2 that I've read for the Literally Dead book club that Kayla runs from Books and Lala. However, she did release her September pick, which is The Babysitter Lives. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one there. So excited for the Stephen Graham Jones. Again, if you want to hear me gush about all of these books, just watch my September TBR video. All right, so there we have it. No other progress was made here. I did make some progress here. So I did read 1, 2, Buckle My Shoe. Let me go ahead and find my pen. I did rate this 3.5 stars. All right. So far I've read 3 Christies this year. I'm a little bit behind on this as well. I will try to read The Pale Horse in September and see how that goes. Love me a good Christie. All right, so I did finally pick my next TBR tarot card game selection. And I am going to write it down right here, but I don't have a printout of the little book because I did pick this live on camera filming my September TBR, so I have yet to print it. But it officially came onto my TBR, and I will be reading it this month or trying to. But for now, I'm going to write down the prompt. And the prompt was choose a book which is the smallest book on your shelf. And for that, I did end up picking A Short Stay in Hell by Stephen L. Peck. So I will be printing that out and putting it on there very, very shortly. All right. So I do have to add a couple things to my blurb game. Again, for those of you who are new, my blurb game is whenever I finish a book, I see if it has been blurbed by someone. And if that author or the book that they're referencing is on my TBR, it becomes part of my TBR now. So I do have to add these 2 things. So let me go ahead and find, I'm going to end up using 4 stickers. Let's go ahead and use these pretty frames. Let me do 2 at a time. And again, I started my blurb game here, but I have continued it back here. For next year, I am already planning on adding more spreads for the blurb game. I think it's something that I have to get a little more space for. So I am here. I'm going to go ahead and put one of those here. So this is going to be that I read Tell Me What You Did. So I did read that. And because I read that, I am putting in The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, because that was blurbed by Stuart Turton. And this has been a book that I've had on my TBR for a while. So I'm excited that I finally get to put it on my physical TBR for this month on there. And then I also read The Family Experiment, and because of that, I am putting People Like Her on my TBR. So let me grab 2 more of those. Let's do this one and this one. And I'll go ahead and add it here. So I read The Family Experiment. And because I read that, I am now adding People Like Her to my TBR. And I did finish The Family Experiment, so I'm going to highlight it. All right, so currently lots of things are on my TBR because of the blurb game. All of those stacked and stacked on my TBR. Right, so that's the update for the blurb game. I always have little notes for myself just to make sure I stay on track. A lot of people do ask me how I manage to keep up with my reading journal and if it's not too overwhelming, or how I'm able to make time for it each month. And honestly, it's just organization. Like, I try to be organized as I'm reading, as I'm finishing books, because I tend to forget some of the details or forget some things I need to fix on my journal. And yeah, a lot of times I also wait to do all of my inputting to film these videos for you. I know that if I were not a content creator and not doing this, I might be more tempted to update my journal more often or in little bits and pieces as I'm finishing things, which is something that I recommend that you do if you tend to get overwhelmed with the size of how many books you have to do, and just doing a 1 monthly journal update is too much for you. Just kind of break it up maybe. And I used to break it up more when I had more time. I definitely break it up when I am setting up my journal at the beginning, I should say actually at the ending of the year. So you'll see that I'll have to break that up into quite a few videos. So yeah, just, there's ways of managing it, but I find that it's just what I need to pair up with my reading. Like, I really enjoy having a place that I can reflect on each year. I can just pull my reading journal out from last year, the year before, and kind of know and see how many books did I read, what did I read, what challenges did I meet, what games did I play. And for me, it's just like a nice, rewarding experience. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to years of publication. So basically for this one, what I do is I check when books are published, and I go ahead and color in the boxes for that. If they're duplicate dates, as you already see, I just keep adding them at the bottom. And I do think I need to revamp how I do this for next year. So I have a couple ideas that I think I want to do for next year. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with those, and I'll fast forward you through this part, and then I'll cut you up. I was able to update these. And again, what I use for these are my Sharpie S Note. They're highlighters. They are a little on the darker side, which is why I like using them for these, but these are absolutely wonderful. I have been asked before alternatives to mild liners. There are some of my subscribers have asked me alternatives to mild liners that I recommend, and also some of my students have asked me alternative to mild liners simply because they feel like it doesn't last as long. And I love mild liners, but I do agree that sometimes the color is so light that it gets very faint very quickly. So I do recommend quite a few different highlighters, but these are really nice as well. The Sharpie S Note ones look really, really nice. And there's a wide range of colors available. So Tell Me What You Did was published in 2025. The Family Experiment in 2024. 1-2 Buckle My Shoe was published in 1940. So yay, I was able to get something there. Man F This House was published in 2021. Then Danganronpa the Animation Volume 2 in 2016. And The Haunted Mansion graphic novel 2016 as well. All right, no updates on the scavenger hunt game, nor the game of bookish cards. I've been dying to read this, the Lion Game, and I keep forgetting that it's on my TBR, and I keep not completing anything with this, so I need to really bump this up. It's one of the few Ruth Wares I have not read. All right, let's see if we have any more of these that I need to update. Reese's Book Club. Jenna's Book Club. Did I read any of these? Let me see. I don't think I did. No Kindle Unlimited reads this month, unfortunately. I'm still trying to finish The X. I mentioned in my wrap up for the month, or maybe my TBR, I don't remember, but it's been so difficult getting back in the hang of things that the moment I lay in bed, I like fall out completely and I just fall asleep. And that's normally my time to read on my Kindle. I love reading on my Kindle right before bed. And I've just been so tired that I literally open it, I lay down, open up my Kindle, and I read like maybe one page and just completely fall asleep. And so The X by Frida McFadden has kind of been there for like a month and a half. Have not gotten to Never Have I Ever either, and I really want to get to it. So time to, get to that. I have not been updating my anticipated releases. I've been trying to stay a little bit away from waiting on too many books simply because I'm trying to clear through a lot of my TBR, and anticipating books just makes me pre-order things, and pre-ordering things just keeps adding to my TBR. So I'm trying to see if I can kind of slow that down just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and for this next one, I know that she went ahead and picked We Love You Bunny. I know that's one of the ones that got picked. So I do have to add this one on there. However, I'm not sure what month it is, so I'm going to leave this here, check the month, and I'll go ahead and come back and update the Midnight Society Book Club. This is from Elizabeth from Reading Riley, another booktuber here on YouTube. So nothing to update with my best friend and I's book club. We did finish Watermoon. I still haven't read Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, but it is going to get done this month. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can update anything for the Read Around the World Challenge. I'll check my books and then get back to you, but I don't think I have much to update here. All right, so nothing really to update for Read Around the World Challenge. Again, I've told you I keep reading things from like the same parts, so it's a little bit difficult. This month I only had 1 5-star, and that was The Haunted Mansion. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out and put it there. So I haven't had as many 5 stars recently as I normally have. It's been a little slow on the 5 star territory. I mean, to some people this might be a lot, but for me it's a lot less than I normally have. That's why I anticipated 2 spreads for this. But hopefully this latter part of the year gets better. All right, tackle your TBR. There's only a couple things left on there, nothing to update. New month, new favorite. I do have to update this. So for the month of August, my favorite read was The Haunted Mansion. And I keep saying to myself and mentioning in my other videos that this month and last month, I'm a little disappointed that my favorite reads were graphic novels and mangas. I haven't had a favorite read that's like a solid novel or novella in 2 months. But I'm so happy that I am reading things that I am loving and I'm liking. So then we have my bracket. So for August, again, The Haunted Mansion was indeed my favorite. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on there, representing the month of August. Let me do a little bit of erasing. Then I'm going to label this August. And I'm really hoping once I read How to Survive a Horror Story, I really hope that that'll be a favorite from September and it can actually be a semi-finalist with You Are Fatally Invited. I think it's that same kind of book. I think I'm going to like it just as much, maybe. And maybe that can give this a run for its money, right? We will see. Top books of 2025. I will determine that when I'm planning my end of year content. Now I'm going to go ahead and see what I read in August. So I did read Tell Me What You Did. I did read The Family Experiment. The X still has not been read. I did read 1-2 Buckle My Shoe. I did read The Cheerleaders, but I finished it in September. I haven't read Tomorrow and Tomorrow yet. And I did read Danganronpa Volume 2. Let's see what else I read that's not represented here. I finished Man F This House. I did finish that. Danganronpa's there, and The Haunted Mansion. I did read. One, two, three, four, 5, and 6. Those are the 6 books that I read. I'm going to go ahead and highlight these. Awesome. And now let's see if we were able to get bingo. So, a first book of a series. I mean, I did read The Haunted Mansion in the individual issues. I did read that digitally, the comic book version of that. So I think I can use that for that. Because I did read the first one and the second one, divided into those issues. So I might use it for that. A book outside your comfort zone. Can't really say any of these are outside my comfort zone. A book written by multiple authors. Don't have any. A book set in a dystopian future. Perfect. The Family Experiment. A book with an unreliable narrator. I think Tell Me What You Did. A book with a coming of age story. Nothing really there. A book set in a small town. Maybe we could do Man F This House. And a book with a brown cover. I think we can use 1-2 Buckle My Shoe because although it's teal, this is brown, and this is brown, and this is brown. So I'm going to make that work for me in the hopes of getting a bingo. We'll have to see if it works. All right, let me try that out and see how that works. So I'm going to put for here the Haunted Mansion because I did read that in its different issues. A book set in a dystopian future. I'm going to go ahead and put the Family Experiment. Perfect. Multiple authors. No. Book with an unreliable narrator. Tell me what you did. Then a book with a brown cover. I'm going to put 1, 2, buckle my shoe. A book set in a small town. Let's see what else is available to me because I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So the only thing I haven't used is Danganronpa Volume 2, which does have a young protagonist, so I can use it for that. And then a small town, Man F This House, so I think I'm going to do that. Man F This House. And then for coming of age, I'm going to put Danganronpa because it is a loss of innocence for our protagonist when he finds out what's going on at the school. So I know we were able to get bingo here, and I know we were able to get bingo here, and we were able to get bingo here, and I think that's it. So 3 bingos this month. Not too shabby. There's nothing here, there's nothing here, there's that one there, nothing this way or this way. All right, so not too shabby. I'm okay with that. All right, so now let me go ahead and jot down everything that's on my September TBR. So let me grab those and I'll go ahead and jot those down and kind of speed you through this part a little bit. All right, so I was able to add all of these things to my September TBR. We will see how that goes. I have pretty ambitious plans for this month, and I'm so excited about so many of these books. All right, so let's see now for my stats. I'm going to go ahead and write those down here. I will speed you through it, and then I'll do some explaining. All right, so my stats for the month were I read 1,577 pages, a total of 6 books. 4 of those were novels, 0 novellas, 2 mangas or graphic novels. 3 authors were new to me, 3 were familiar, 0 brand new releases of the month. 1 is a Kindle read, but it's really more like an iPad read because it was a comic book that I read on my iPad with my Marvel Unlimited subscription. I did do 2 audio reads, 1 combo read, and 3 purely physical reads. So that's the stats for the month. Let's see if I was able to get anything else from my book bingo. Nothing was over 600 pages. More than 2 authors, a book that's been banned, an award winner, written by a celebrity. Nope, so nothing to update here. I still haven't read The Wedding People, waiting on that, so nothing to update with the Royal Year read. Let's see if I can update any of these. Bad Guy POV, Creepy Kid. I mean, Danganronpa has a ton of creepy kids. So does The Family Experiment. I'm actually going to use that for Creepy Kid. I'm going to use The Family Experiment. Has one very creepy kid in particular. If you know, you know. Bad Guy POV. School setting. Danganronpa. I'm going to go ahead and use that. Danganronpa Volume 2. It does take place in a school setting. So all I'm really missing is Bad Guy POV, which is so difficult because a lot of times that's a plot twist. So I have to see how I complete that. But other than that, I'm pretty much done with this. Oprah's Book Club. I did finish reading this already, but I'm not updating it yet because it did happen in the month of September. So those are updates for next month. But oh my gosh, heart for culpability. And nothing to update here right now. Nothing to update for this either. Or middle grade March. I do have my updates for this as far as my book reads. I do have to print out some thumbnails. And I have to print out culpability for this, which I don't have with me right now. So I need to print that out. And the Family Experiment. So I have 2 of these thumbnails that I have to print out so I can update that. And then I also have to add culpability, and I have to add the new Frida McFadden, which I will also be buddy reading with my friends, my booktube friends. Blurb game we already did. This was Summerween, which has finished. Summerween, which finished. Nothing for me to update here or here. And nothing to update here either for the Sell Your Soul. And this might be it. Yep, that's pretty much my update for the month. Didn't read a lot of books, only 6, but still got to enjoy a couple books. She's looking pretty thick, as you can see. And I don't know about you guys, but if you are also into journaling, I'm already making so many plans for next year's journal. I'm excited for so many things that are to come. I'm making plans on how I want to design that one. And yeah, that tends to be, I think, one of my favorite parts. It is a little scary when you're moving into a new journal, but it's exciting. It's exciting to see everything that I loved from the way I did things this year and how I want to switch it up or do things differently for next year. So already kind of thinking about that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, for spending some time with me. Hopefully you are working on your reading journals too. If you were, I would love to hear about some of your spreads. I'd love to see some of your spreads. If you're a content creator as well, please let me know in the comments so I can check your journal out as well. And yeah, this was, as always, so much fun. I love whenever I get to sit down and update my journal and just have some relaxing time. And yeah, thank you for coming along with me for that ride. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please make sure you do that. Please like this video, leave me some comments down below so we can chat. And I can't wait to talk to you in the next one. Thank you guys so much for being here. Bye.